Alrighty, GMB Conversions Maximizer. The first call. So at this point, you've sent out the direct mail letter, you've waited a few days, and we'll talk about timing and all that stuff, and you're going to pick up the phone and you're going to call people. So when do you call and what do you say? Let's go over all of that. Well, in the United States, a first-class letter takes about 3 days to get there. You're going to have to figure out, if you mailed it on Wednesday, did it get there on Friday and Saturday and all that? But basically, I would give it 4 or 5 days and then call them, after 4 or 5 days, excluding weekends. Again, you're going to have to think through the timing on weekends. You don't want to wait something like 2 weeks, okay? So you mail, let's say we mailed on Monday, I'd be calling by the end of the week. If I mailed on Thursday, I'd be calling by Tuesday or Wednesday of the next week. And what do you say? Well, it's a very, very gentle, laid-back call. If you're being forceful with this, you're screwing it up. So let's say I sent out a bunch of letters, I waited the appropriate amount of time, I get on my little spreadsheet with my phone numbers, I call up, and I don't care who answers the phone. Please don't get caught up in all this gatekeeper nonsense that people used to tell me so much about 2 or 3 years ago. It was like a code word for Lee, please let me fail, okay? That's just BS, seriously. Get that out of your system. But you just call up the business, have you ever called up someplace and ordered a pizza? Do it with that level of, I can't remember if it was this course or another course, but if you call up somewhere and order a pizza and you're sweating bullets because you're having to talk to another human being, God bless you, but you need professional help. Most people don't do that. Most people just call up and order the stupid pizza. All you're doing is just calling up. So if you will call up with that level of emotional investment, i.e., none, you will be doing this right. So let's say we sent out a bunch of letters, it's Monday, we're going to call people, so we get the phone, I use earbuds on my phone, or you can use Skype, either way. You start dialing through those numbers. One little good thing to do if you really want to get fast at this is get Skype credit, okay? And where you can call a not a Skype account, but a phone number, get Skype credit, and then get your spreadsheet up on your computer. It will turn it all into clickable phone numbers. I got a friend who does this. So you sit there and click the number, your headset's plugged into the computer, Skype calls the phone number, you talk through the computer, you're talking through Skype to the phone number, basically. But the deal is, you're not having to type in all those numbers with your finger. You can just go click, call, talk to him, click, call, talk to him, click, call, talk to him. In any kind of selling, the faster you can legitimately go through the process with more people, the more deals you're going to get, okay? So we call up. Somebody answers. So I just say, hey, this is Lee Cole. I sent y'all a letter the other day and wanted to see if you received it. You don't have to use the word y'all. I'm a good old Southern boy. Hey, this is Lee Cole. I sent y'all a letter the other day and wanted to see if you received it. Now, put yourself in the position of the person receiving the call. They have no earthly idea what you're talking about. They have no clue. This is purposeful. So they're going to say, because they're trying to say, well, letter, what letter? I didn't see a letter, or I don't know what you're talking about. Well, I don't know. They're going to be very confused, and they're going to ask you what this is all about. So tell them. Don't beat around the bush. So the next thing you say is, well, the letter I sent you was about your Google listing. It's not what we call verified. I run a small business helping businesses just like yours with their Google listings and other things. Would you be the right person to talk to about this, or would there be somebody else or somebody better? Again, you got to put it in your own words, but that's the next thing you want to do. At that point, you've explained why you're calling. Now, bear in mind, let's say you sent out 100 letters, you're calling all 100 of those people. In the previous video, I said out of those 100 people, 80 absolutely don't want your thing. 20 might, and 1 or 2 definitely do. All you're trying to do here is find the 20. That's all you're doing, okay? But that means you got to talk to the 80 to get the 20, and that means you're going to talk to a bunch of folks who absolutely do not want to. They don't care. They don't understand. It's not the right time. It doesn't matter. Whatever. They're not ready, willing, and able to do anything. They're not going to be rude to you or anything, generally. They're just going to say, well, we're not interested, or just blow you off. And all you do is just draw a line through that one on your spreadsheet, or just, if it's on your computer, just go down the next one and try it again. That's all you do. You don't try to convince anybody of anything. You don't get all, you can read all these incredibly stupid things that people are going to say. Only once in a blue moon does that work, and all that kind of stuff, and only in extremely rare scenarios. Professional salespeople don't sit there and memorize scripts like you're, playing Hamlet and Shakespeare. I mean, they know what they're going to say, but they have a much more, they have a much better way of doing that, okay, by and large. But anyway, so the letter I sent you was about your Google listing. It's not verified. I run a small business helping businesses like yours with their Google listings and other things. Are you the right person to talk to about this, or should I be speaking with someone else? Now, if you definitely should be speaking with someone else, then one of two things is going to happen. You're going to get transferred to that person, or you're going to get their name and number. Well, if you get transferred to that person, now you got to start all over again. And you start all over again by saying the same thing. Hi, my name's Lee Cole. I sent you a letter the other day. It was, I run a small business. I help businesses like yours with their Google listings. I noticed online that you have not even claimed your Google listing. You're probably missing a lot of traffic and sales because of that, and I can help you with it. I just wanted to call up and see A, if you got the letter, or B, if you were interested. Okay? So that's all you do. You just got to roll back through the whole conversation and just say it all over again. Now, if you get the name, that's if you get transferred to somebody. If you get the name and number of somebody, well, you need to talk to Sally, and she's busy right now. You never know if people are blowing you off. Most people are blowing you off when they do that. They're just trying to get rid of you, and that's okay. You just let the numbers and the speed with which you do this take care of that. But so you write Sally's name and number down, and you call Sally. I would just hang up the phone and just call Sally immediately, just in case Sally picks up. If not, call Sally the next day, and if you can't get hold of Sally, just drop it. On the spreadsheet, I would put another little field out there for, other names and numbers of people to call. I generally just sort of annotate my spreadsheets a little bit like that. So that's how you do it. Now, when you're talking to someone and you say, here's what I do, your Google listing's not verified, don't go into calling it your Google My Business listing. They're going to get they haven't even verified the stupid thing. They don't really understand it. You don't need to bludgeon them with lots of words that they don't understand. Just call it your Google listing. Okay, get it real simple. Well, your Google listing's not verified, and I run a small business helping businesses just like yours do that, among other things. And then if they're interested, they're going to ask you a few questions. Well, what will that do for me? Usually, if they're interested, is like a client I talked to the other day. This was in person as opposed to on the phone, but it could have gone either. It didn't matter. But he just looked at me and just said, well, that's a no-brainer. Okay, when can you help me? You'll get some of those, okay? So, but if somebody doesn't just, say automatically, hey, let's do this, then you need a trial, what we call a trial close. You're taking their temperature. And all you need to do is just, again, it's very laid back, it's very non-threatening, it's very gentle. Just say this last sentence that you see on the recording here. Do you think this is something you guys would be interested in doing now? Now, again, put it in your own words, all right? So, is this something that would interest you? Is this something that interests you? Or you could do something like, say, sounds like you might be kind of interested in this. Are you? In other words, you're asking the person, shall we move ahead? All right? Well, then they're either going to be interested or not. They're going to say, well, yeah, I mean, we just met. I don't really know you. And, then you just have to, basically start asking questions, well, what can I tell you about this? All right. And, you would go back to the training that you bought from me on Google My Business Goldmine and, just start telling them about the Google listing, the fact that it needs to be verified, what that's going to do, what a citation is. If they want you to build citations, you can build citations. That's going to help them show up better in more searches. I never promise people that it's going to definitely get them found, okay? I just say that's going to tend to help you show up better on searches. And it doesn't take that long to do. Here's the price. If you want citations built, there's that price. And then I would ask another trial close. Are you ready to get going on this? That little simple sentence is golden. That's one of my golden sentences. Are you ready to get going on this? And you can get your own. See, it's very non-threatening, and it puts the power in the other person's hand. Because ultimately, if they're not ready, they're not ready. All right? And you just sort of take it from there. Now, if they're ready, then you go into, okay, great. Here's what we need to do next. All right? Here's what we need to do next. I'm going to send you an invoice and blah, 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 blah. And that's what we need. Once you pay, I'll need the access to your Google account and all that. So once you do that, you just explain the fulfillment process. But what if they're not quite interested? Maybe they've got too much on their plate. Maybe most of them are just still going to be confused. I mean, they're not going to be sitting there thinking about this like you've applied for a job at the CIA or something. By this time, they're either with you or they're not. Okay? In other words, they would have just blown you off and you wouldn't even be talking to them if they weren't pretty interested. So, if they're interested but they're not quite ready to go, they say, well, yeah, I'm kind of interested. I need to. People will come up with all kinds of things, ways to say the following: I need more time, and all they're doing is stalling for more time. Would you mind sending me a little more stuff? I need to talk to my partner about it. Blah blah, which is nonsense. I mean, who needs to talk to their partner about spending a few $100? Blah blah blah. So. And you just take that for what it is. And you have to intelligently think, well, okay, great. I'd be more than happy to call you back about this. So you get a time, get an appointment. You get a time and a phone number to call them back. And then you just call them back. And you either close the deal or not. There's some more follow-up. You'll get some of these people who won't make a decision, okay? And we can do some more follow-up with them, and that's what I'm going to talk to you about in the next video. So we're going to talk about follow-up beyond this first phone call. That follow-up, that consistent follow-up beyond the first phone call, even to the people who said no, especially to the people who said no, that consistent follow-up, you'll get a lot of business out of that. Cool beans.